5.3 tangent, sum and differences, identities.
Alright, so for the sum and difference, this is the sum of identities. You use this formula, which is tan A plus tan B over 1 minus tan A times tan B. So at first you need to find two numbers that add up to this, which we can use 45 and 60. You draw your two triangles. So it's going to be a 45, 45, 90 triangle. So the sides are 1, 1, square root 2. It's going to be a 60-degree triangle. So your sides are 1, square root 3, and 2. And then you use tan of SOHCAHTOA to plug it into this formula, which you would have opposite over adjacent. So 1 plus square root 3 over 1 minus 1 times square root 3. When you have that, you multiply it together, so you have 1 plus square root 3 over 1 minus square root 3. You have to cancel out the bottom by multiplying it by 1 plus square root 3 over 1 plus square root 3. To multiply that, so that would equal 1 minus 3 on the bottom, and then 1 plus 2 square root 3, or 4 plus 2 square root 3 on the top. So when you do that, you can simplify down to the bottom, so you have 4 plus 2 square root 3 over negative 2. And since you have a negative on the bottom, you have to clear this. You can multiply by negative 2. So your top becomes 2 minus square root, negative 2 minus square root 3 over 1, which equals negative 2 minus square root 3. There's your final answer. So for the tan of 75, you need the two numbers that add up to 75, which can be 45 and 30. So you make your two triangles over here, which there's 30, here's your 45, 45, 90, which you fill in the side lengths. And once you have the side lengths fill in, you do the SOHCAHTOA opposite over adjacent. To do, for this one, you do 1 over square root 3 plus 1 over 1, which equals 1. You do 1 minus 1 over square root 3 times 1. And since you have in the denominator, you have the square root 3 here and here, you multiply this entire fraction by square root 3. And once you distribute, you get 1 plus square root 3 over 1 minus square root 3. And once you're here, you to clear the thing at the bottom, you do multiply by 1 minus square root 3.
No, 1 plus.
1 plus square root 3 over 1 plus square root 3. So you get, on the bottom you get 1 minus 3. And the top, when you FOIL it out, you get 1 plus 2 square root 3 plus 3, which equals 4 plus 2 square root 3 over 2, or over negative 2. And you multiply this entire thing by negative 2, or I like doing it by negative 1. It's one extra step, but I think it's easier. So you get negative 4 minus 2 square root 3 over 2, which once that's simplified down, it just turns into negative 2 minus square root 3. And there's your final answer. Tan of 345, you get your two angles that equal 345, so you can do 45 and 300. So you get your 45 degree angle, which we've used multiple times already. So you get 45, 45, 90. So your simple little triangle thing there. And over here, since it's 300, you have to go all the way around to 300 and make your line down here, because that's 300 degrees. That's what you need. And then from this spot is 30. So you have a 30, 60, 90 right here. So
Oh,
the
that's 60.
So this side is
Steven, that's
1.
That's 60.
No, it's not. So this should be 60, and this should be 30. So then on this side, you have a square root of 3, but you gotta make it negative, because going down is a negative number, going across is still positive, so that's 1. Over here is 2, because the hypotenuse is always positive. So now that you have that, your 3 number, so once you come over here and do opposite over adjacent for this one, it's still very simple. It's 1 plus, wait, hold up, never mind, scratch that. So come over here and do your opposite over adjacent, you get 1, because it's 1 over 1, and then you add that to over here, which would be opposite square root of 3 over adjacent 1, so you have plus negative square root of 3 on the top. And then that's there. Come to the bottom, you do 1 minus this number times this number, so minus 1 times negative square root of 3. And now you gotta factor in the negatives here, so this becomes 1 minus square root of 3 at the top, and this becomes 1 plus square root of 3, because the negative and negative equals positive. And then clear this off the bottom, you do times 1 minus square root of 3 on both top and bottom. So multiply that by 1 minus square root of 3 and 1 minus square root of 3, which, when you multiply these out, it equals 1 minus 3 on the bottom, and at the top you have 1 times 1, which equals 1, 1 times negative 3, or 1 times negative square root of 3, which is negative square root of 3, negative square root of 3 times 1, minus square root of 3, negative square root of 3 times negative square root of 3, which equals 3, positive because you have the 2 negatives. So once this is simplified down, you get 4 minus 2 square root of 3 over negative 2. And to clear these fractions, you multiply by negative 2 to everything. So you have 2 minus square root of 3, negative 2 plus square root of 3, because you have to have the negative. And there's your final answer. So for the difference of equations, you switch these two signs, so the top one becomes a negative, and the bottom one becomes a positive. And when you do this, you need 2 numbers that subtract from each other to equal 15. So we can do 45 and 30. Once you have that, you make your 2 triangles up here. So you get your 45, 45, 90 triangle, fill in the sides, and you got your 30, 60, 90 triangle, fill in the sides. Once you do that, you do still the opposite over adjacent from tan, and just plug it into this equation. So you got 1 minus 1 over square root of 3 over 1 plus 1 times 1 over square root of 3. Multiply this entire thing by square root of 3 to cancel it. So you have square root of 3 minus 1 over square root of 3 plus 1. To cancel this bottom out, you multiply by square root of 3 minus 1 over square root of 3 minus 1. At the bottom, you get 3 minus 1. At the top, you get 3 minus 2 square root of 3 plus 1. So that equals 4 minus 2 square root of 3 over 2, which when simplified down, when you multiply by 2,
Negative 2.
nope, just positive 2, equals 2 minus square root of 3. There's your answer. So we do, to find what 2 numbers subtract to equal 165, your first number is always 45, because that's the number we like. So you got your 45 triangle here, 1, 1, square root of 2, 45, 45, 90, and 45 minus what equals 165? Anybody know?
50.
No, Marco. You guys know.
220.
It's 210. Never mind. So the answer is 210. So here you have 210, and 210 is right here on your little circle chart. So that's actually 30 degrees. So you have 1, square root 3, and 2. And this is going to be a negative, and this is going to be a negative because it's on the negative side of the graph. So then you just bring over here, you still do your opposite over adjacent. You got 1 minus opposite over adjacent, which is 1 over square root 3, which is negative square root 3 and negative 1. Two negatives cancel out. Equals positive, but that's still negative because it was originally negative. And you do 1 plus 1 times 1 over square root 3. To get rid of the square root 3's in the bottom, multiply by square root 3. So you got square root 3 minus 1 over 1 plus square root 3. Simple enough. And you do 1 minus square root 3 to cancel this out. 1 minus square root 3 to cancel it out. Over here you get 1 minus 3, which equals 2. Negative 2, matter of fact. And then over here you got square root 3 minus 3 minus 1 minus square root 3. So you got negative 4 minus 2 square root 3. Multiply by negative 2 to clear the negatives. Then you got 2 plus square root 3. There's your final answer.
So sine of A equals 3/5, sine of B equals 15/17, and then these two, they tell you where the triangles are located on the grid. So sine of A is 3/5, and it's located in the first quadrant. So sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so 3/5, and then that's a triple, so it's 3, 4, 5. And then B is located in the second quadrant, and it's opposite over hypotenuse again, so it's 15/17, and then negative 8 because of where it's located. And then to do tan of A plus B, you get the tangent of the first, and you add it to the tangent of the second equation, and then you put it over 1 minus tangent of the first times tangent of the second, and you multiply the entire equation by 32, which is 4 times 8, and you cross it out, so you do 4 goes into 32 8 times 3, which is 24, and then 8 goes into 32 4 times 15, which is 60, and then on the denominator you do the same thing, so 32 times 1 is 32, and then this cancels out with 32, so it's 3 times 15, which is 45. And then when you solve it, you get 36 over 13. To find tan of A minus B, you take this equation right here, and you just switch both of the signs, so it would be 24 plus 60 over 32 plus 45, and you get 84 over 7.
This is how you do sum and different identities.